Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons breakdown video with myself and Sloth today. This is an exciting link. It's definitely one that's been on the radar for a while. A lot of championship talent out there as well. Crysencio Summerville of Leeds, still only 22 years old. Obviously that natural position out on that left-hand side, right-footed. Estimated market value of 20 million euros right now on Transfermarkt. He's 5'7", obviously plays for Netherlands, or from the Netherlands nationality, should I say. And his contract ends in 2026. So this is an interesting link. It's coming out that, well, reports since this, there's been kind of other reports as well saying West Ham are interested in signing Summerville this summer. So going to be a very tough deal to get done, but we need a left winger, and we are starting to get linked with more left wingers now. Talk to me about Summerville. Like him? Dislike him? Would you go for him?
I think he's bloody brilliant. I think he's fantastic. He's exactly what we wanted Ben Rama to be, in that he's just absolutely dynamic on the ball. He can send a defender into the shops, really. Like he's so skillful but so quick, and he's hardworking as well, and that's something we'll cover as well. But I think when you tend to think about these sort of flair wingers, you don't tend to associate that doggedness to their game, and I think that's something that Summerville has really stepped up this season. Obviously, he scored a few goals towards the end of his time in the Premier League, and I'll be honest, I was quite surprised that Leeds managed to hold on to him when they dropped down. But I think the fact that he didn't play too many Premier League games in that season probably worked out for their benefit, at least in terms of their charge for promotion, which obviously went a bit tits up. But I think he was very much the reason for that. I mean, 31 goal involvements, and just, I mean, his who scored average is like 7.68 or 7.86, and for that to go across the course of a season, if he was able to replicate that in the Premier League, it'd be sensational stuff.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic. I mean, 19 goals, 9 assists in 43 games in the Championship last season. Phenomenal return for a winger to kind of produce those numbers and play the way he did as well. So I think Summerville is is the type of player we want to be linked with 100%, which is what's definitely excited me about this. And I think, we'll talk about it at the end in terms of the price tag, but I think a good deal could be done here, especially with Leeds not getting promoted, like you say. I definitely can see him maybe wanting to favour an exit this summer. So in terms of his statistics, as always, we kind of break it down. So looking at his kind of shooting and goal and shot creation to start with, you can kind of see how ridiculously consistent he has been in the high percentiles. I know it's comparing him with the other 14 leagues, so not the top 5 European leagues, but even so, he's been fantastic. He's averaging 3 shots a game, 1.18 on target. You can kind of see he takes free kicks, penalties, and then in terms of the goal and shot creations, it's coming from everywhere. He's drawing fouls, he's doing defensive actions, it's coming from dead ball, it's coming from live ball, it's coming from take-ons from himself. So, I mean, he's been fantastic. He's been really, really good for Leeds this year. And, does that kind of tie into what his best qualities are as a winger, Sloth? What do you think his best qualities are?
I think his best quality is, I mean, the pace is the easy one to cite because he is blisteringly quick. But I think if I were to label that as best quality, it would very much be a poor reflection on him, because he's so good on the ball.
Yeah.
When you look at how he carries it with pace, like the speed he's able to carry it, change direction with the ball, is fantastic. And I think combine that with his hard work. Something that I think I mentioned, when he was in the Premier League, didn't always shine through. He'd quite often be their outlet, like Willy Gnonto was. But I think this year, Daniel Farke, for all his faults, and there are a lot of them, he's kind of demanded a bit more from him work rate wise. And I think the combination of those qualities are his main strengths. He's not just working hard for the team. he's working hard to get himself into positions to score, and you can see it in his off the ball movement as well, but also in the fact that he's taking as many shots as he is, and his average shot distance is like 17 yards. So it's not just a case of him poaching or running in and tapping them in, timing his runs well. It's a variety of goals that he's scoring, and I think a good way of kind of showing it.
Yeah, no, just touching on that kind of defensive side as well. You can see for that type of player, I was surprised at these statistics as well. Looking at the number of tackles he makes. Again, Leeds were definitely on the front foot and one of the better teams in the Championship last season. So you can see their tackles in the attacking third way high percentile wise. So again, you take into consideration the style of the team as well. But again, he's someone that works in that system. When you're thinking of can he translate that into West Ham under Lopetegui? I think it's a natural fit, the way he wants to play and the way Lopetegui's kind of set up, especially his Sevilla side that was so successful when they were on the front foot and pressing from the front. And the amount of turnovers they had in the final third of matches was ridiculously high. So he would definitely fit in that aspect. And as you mentioned, works hard for the team. So in terms of his kind of passing and, his creativity side, I think that's also something that's important to obviously allude to. Again, these statistics can be a little bit inflated because Leeds were very dominant in a lot of their Championship matches last season. But even so, he's averaging 2.88 key passes per 90, which is ridiculous. And yeah, you can just kind of see the variation. So he's not someone that's just going to play the short passes all the time. He will try and, mix it up with medium and long passes as well. And then you kind of look at the different styles of passes as well. So again, you can see his corner statistics are very high because he's the corner taker. And yeah, he has a variation. Obviously, that is a massive plus that he can be someone that can take set pieces and can be effective, not just from live ball passes, but also dead ball situations as well. So is that something that's maybe probably not spoken about enough when you kind of think of, right, Summerville, he's fast, he's going to work hard, fantastic dribbler, but actually he's someone that can create from not just live ball situations, but also dead ball as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you're talking about the fact that he delivers so many balls into the box or to his teammates, he's still got a successful pass percentage of over 80%. And for someone who's got such a workload, that's so impressive. And it's a case of, I think these stats really show a complete player. And I think he has been too good for the Championship this year.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think that he would produce these numbers in the Premier League. But if he produced 11 goals and 5 assists,
he's 22.
You'd still be thinking, wow, that's good for a young player. And I think he has the raw materials. He's clearly got the ability to deliver passing wise and set piece wise. It's a case of him now just applying that to the top level. And I think there'll be a lot of teams after him this summer.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it would be one of our best signings of the window if we could pull it off. And again, that's just kind of alluding to the fact that there's such good value in the Championship right now. And you don't have to necessarily look for, teams that are in the top 4 in different European leagues. There is value out there on the market. You just need to find it. Obviously, it's going to cost us money, which we'll get onto in a second. But just to kind of summarize, Summerville's kind of all-round statistics. Again, in possession, he's someone that is, as you mentioned, going to drive with the ball. You kind of look into the kind of take-ons and take-on percentage. He's averaging 4.91 take-ons per match, successful in just over 50% of those, which is a ridiculously high number as well when you're thinking of, taking on a player. You can see the carry distance, carries into the final third, carries into the penalty area, 2.57 per 90. Again, it's the way Leeds play in terms of the amount of ball they do have and the way they press teams back. But he has the capabilities to do that in that system. And, similar to Kudus, fantastic dribbler of the ball, fantastic ball carrier to get West Ham out of situations. We're now trying to transform and balance the squad a little bit. And we've lacked that so much on the left-hand side. As you mentioned, Ben Rama was kind of brought in to be that kind of key figure from the Championship. And to do that, he just doesn't have that turn of pace, and he does have the turn of pace in terms of beating a player, but he doesn't have the consistency or belief, especially at the end of his West Ham career, to continue driving forwards.
Yeah, and I think he also just lacks that blistering pace. He's very quick in the first few yards, and then he'll get caught up. And I think that's the difference between him and Benrahma. You know, he was incredibly capable on the ball, but I think Summerville combines that with the fact that, you know, he can escape and he can just leave a man for dead.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the fact that he would have Kudus, Bowen, you know, I mean, Rutter and Pirro were fantastic players to have. Willie Nonto as well, you know, linking up with. But these are a step up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned him not potentially producing those numbers, but I think with players like that around him, you would see very, very strong numbers, if not just because of how hard he works and the quality around him as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it'd be a really interesting and exciting signing. So kind of summarize it, Sloth. He's estimated, we said his estimated value is around 20 million euros, which I think would be fantastic value. I don't think it would cost a little bit more than that, to be honest, to get him from Leeds. It'll probably be between 20 to 25 million pounds is probably what I'm putting it at. If we do manage to pull it off for that bracket of price, what do you rate this transfer out of 10?
I would rate that a 10, to be honest with you. I think,
10.
Yeah, for 20 to 25 million pounds, you've still got a lot of budget left. You know, you can potentially move Cornet on, and you've got the fact that it's not covered by, but a large percentage of it would be covered by Benrahma's sale. So,
does he come in to be a starter for you?
Yeah, I think he would at the moment.
Sorry.
I think this season he's very much earned that. Even if, say, someone like Jota Silva or Wesley Gasova came in, I still think that you would look at Summerville and say, right, he's the starter on that side, and you would say to him, go out there and keep it. Even if we were to bring in someone like Jaden Philogene as well, Philogene Bidace, I think you would still look at Summerville and say, you're my starter, but he's going to be right on your tail. And, you know, if you drop a stinker, then potentially he's going to come in and take your place. So
who would you rather sign out of those two?
I think just in terms of the fact that we need a homegrown figure, but also the fact that we've had success from Hull. And I think in a worse team, Philogene Bidace looked pretty much just as good.
Yeah,
I would go with him. I also think there's a bit more chance you get him for around the 18 to 20 million pound mark. But I mean, if it was down to me, and it's obviously not, I'd go for both. I really do think that if we were to go hell for leather, manage to sign both, which is very unrealistic, I know, I think that would be the makings of a sensational window, and I think it's a bit of a statement as well.
Yeah, if you think about the departures, like you say, Benrahma's likely to leave, Cornet likely to leave. So you're thinking of two left-hand side replacements right there. You know, Summerville and Bidace would be really interesting recruitment. So, and you know, massively reduces the age gap of the squad. So yeah, I think for me, it would probably be, like you say, it's not a 10 for me. It's very difficult to score a 10, especially because the value would be a little bit higher than maybe you'd want to pay for him, because I think his value will be slightly higher to Leeds, which is absolutely acceptable to do. I would give it an 8.5 or 9. I think it's a really, really top quality signing if we can pull this off. A player with massive potential. And as you say, would be able to start for us in the Premier League. So yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you think of the links to Summerville. Would you like to see him in a West Ham shirt this summer? Let us know. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the breakdown. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And Sloth, till the next one.
Come on, you irons.